Afia, proudly brought to you by Qtix PLC, exclusive quality since 1982.
Ndewo nyomane agenti, Afambo Odera Collins, and I want to officially welcome you to this episode of Onye Afia. Yes, you're wondering why that dramatic intro, right? It's because my producer has warned me that if I don't speak Igbo, she's going to sack me. So this is me playing safe. I love my job. Now, to the meat of the matter today, we're going to be having a very interesting conversation, and that is because our topic of conversation is very relatable. You can relate to it, I can relate to it. Now, I'm sure that if you think back, especially for us in this region, southeastern Nigeria, you'd realize that over time, the food culture has changed. So what do I mean? Before, you'd see that people would rather cook in their houses and eat in their houses, and eating out wasn't a common thing. But now it's very normal. People go out. Most times people don't even cook anymore. From morning till night, the streets and corners are buzzing with food joints, from jollof rice to pepper soup to a host of others. Right. So what changed? What happened? It has gone beyond just being about food to being a proper business. Now we have storytelling infused in how people sell food. We have the packaging. There's a different conversation happening, right? So we're going to be digging deep into the business of food here in southeastern Nigeria. And to do that with me, I have the culinary gangster, Chef Didi of Hunger Clinic. She's going to be leading this conversation with me, and I promise you it's going to be interesting. We'll be back after the break and we will pick up.
Onye Afia, proudly brought to you by Qtix PLC, exclusive quality since 1982.
Welcome back to Onye Afia, and don't forget that this is the show where we look into stereotypes about Igbo people and finding out the truth, if they are what they are or if they're really inspired by nature. My name is Odera Collins, and to reintroduce my guest today, Chef Didi, we're going to be kicking off the conversation now, but she is looking so beautiful, by the way. I must say, I've been trying to ignore. Hi, Didi. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, let me ask you the typical boring red carpet question. Who styled you? You did? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't need to, branch out a bit of food?
Oh my God. Only, thank you.
Oh yeah, you look very good. Yeah, so now let's dive into it, because that's why we're here. Food. But before we talk about the food culture, let's talk about you. How did the culinary gangster come about?
Culinary gangster because, my method of cooking, my techniques, I just cook, I don't look at it as, because normally people think cooking is difficult or you have to be serious when you're cooking, follow recipes and stuff like that. I just cook, and then I have the ability to tweak recipes, come up with things and all of that. So I think that's gangster.
That's where it comes from. So how did it start? How did you decide, I want to be a chef?
Oh, growing up, yeah. I'd say I was born into a culinary background.
Okay.
Yeah, from my grandmother to my mom. In fact, my mom was a food consultant for over 20 years,
Oh,
and
wow.
she also had a very lucrative catering service or catering business. Okay. My grandmother was also known for, her style of cooking, back in the days. And my aunts, at the time, one of my aunties, she was in charge of a canteen in the general hospital.
Wow,
and this
so
was
you were
for
surrounded.
period of time. And then at this time when my mom was doing this food catering thingy, it wasn't like, it wasn't like a business thing that was out there. It wasn't like a professional thing. So she wouldn't even find people to work with her. So me, my sisters, when I say me and my sisters, we were like her staff at that time.
Okay.
So I picked up a lot from there, and I didn't even know this was going to be a thing. Like my life was going to be centered on this, or maybe I was going to build a business off of this until when I was doing my youth service. Was it my youth service period? Yeah, youth service. Military Hospital, Lagos, I just noticed some things around, where we were getting food from, and I saw like a gap and what could be done better. And I thought, what if I try this? What if I do this? What if I do this? And at that time also, there was marriage in the middle, bringing me to Enugu. So I, coming to Enugu, pregnancy, and then I had cravings, but I wouldn't even find the things I want to. Yeah. So I saw it as an opportunity to start with the things I like to eat first, or the things that I know that are not easily accessible in Enugu, the kind of food, I would say. Yeah.
Really? So, how has it been since you started the business and now?
Well, because it's something I enjoy doing, I wouldn't say it's been easy, but managing it well, it's been good. It's been good, but it's not easy because a lot comes into play. The business had to grow, expand, involving people, other people. So you have to train people. You have to find people with like passions just so that you can achieve your dream. Yeah. So it's been a journey, will I say, but a good one anyway.
Good one for you.
Good one.
Now, speaking about the food culture in Enugu, like I said earlier during the introduction, you'd realize quickly that people now see eating out as a norm. People now eat out, right? There are a lot of bukas in town. There are a lot of restaurants in town. People, what do you think has caused that shift? From your perception as someone in the food business, what has altered that?
This is I'll still go back to like part of the reasons why I started a food business. Okay. I feel like sometimes it's people are craving something. People are looking for something that they cannot make on their own, or maybe they traveled and they tried something, they're back in their place and then they want to try it out again. They're looking for that thing, so this takes them around. And then again, people don't have time. It's another thing. People don't have time to cook. They are working, they are focused on other things, and so they can easily grab food on the go, or maybe have somebody deliver it to them, and that makes life easier for them. So things like that.
So that's really that about it.
Well, I feel like
some people would argue that people are lazier now.
Oh, lazier, that aspect. Well, yeah, we could put that. Yeah, it could be laziness. But then for you to be lazy and then be able to afford, because eating out is not also cheap. So you should be well-to-do for you to be able to, for your laziness to push you into going out to eat and all of that. So yeah, we could throw that in.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that we like to do on Onye Afia is we like to be forward-thinking, right? We like to see how can things be improved, how can technology help in our business strategies, especially as Igbo people, right? Now, for you as a business person, how would you say that you've utilized and how has it helped technology in your business, digital media technology? There are new innovations right now that you don't necessarily need to have 100 people to work in your organization. You can let these things go because there's technology. So how have you used technology to better your structure and your growth?
Oh, okay. Start off with deliveries. What are they called again? Logistics. Yeah, logistics. And they have these apps that they set up, and then it connects the vendor to the customers. That's one short way, and that way it's cutting out marketing for you. It's solving marketing issues, because on a normal day you would do like billboards, do food marketing and stuff like that, but then when they have that app and then they're doing the marketing for you, or the apps are like showing off what you have, and that way is sorted out. And also
social media,
yes, social media. So I'll say social media.
Yeah.
I think, for example, for myself, I started off on social media. I had like an online store or online restaurant, like a ghost kitchen first, before I got like a brick and mortar. And that way it makes it easier for people to see you and know what you're about, even before they come into what you're doing. And then also tracking your KPIs with apps and all of that.
Now, in recent times, food has become more experiential than just satisfying a biological need, the need to eat, right? You see people doing all sorts with your food, some toss it up, some toss it down. I mean, most recently, at a socialite's birthday, we saw this lady do this entire debacle with pepper soup. For some people, it can come off as too much, right? But the trends in the system, can we like dissect that? Where do we stop? Like, is there a limit? Because some people find it repulsive. Some people think it is, this is cool, right? I'm not even going to what I think because I'm trying not to keep my opinion here. But yeah, I think by my reaction, you already know.
Well, I don't think there's a stop, or where do we stop? Because just like every other thing, food evolves. Cooking, the techniques, everything changes, everything grows. People are trying out different things. People are, finding out different techniques every day. And all of this also has impact on, the final dish, like the outcome of the food. Take, for example, food fusion. It's a thing now where you don't want to eat like Chinese. You want Chinese with a little bit of an African flavor in it. So merging that, and then the techniques you use in doing that. That's why it's a bit too much. And then remember that the people doing these things are also passionate about the skill that they have or their talents. So they are also trying to experiment with different things and know what they are able to come up with. So to me, I think it's even the beginning. Like, there's a lot more to, because if you look at it, when you consider things like molecular gastronomy, it's getting out of hand.
Break it down. You have to come down to our level.
Okay, it's just basically applying science to food.
Okay.
Like, using things to maybe gel-like textures to change the texture of food. Maybe you have like a mango caviar, things like that is sous vide. So you just fuse the technique together to get something, that will be mind-blowing for people. So at the end of the day, they have a good experience. They taste something and they never forget it. It's not just about, like you said, it's not just about, satisfying their hunger now. Their taste buds are being built and stuff like that.
But is there a pressure to do this? Like, for you as a business person now, or a must now when you're gonna get me, because I see people... Again, there are things we see online. Thanks to social media, information is everywhere, videos are everywhere. The things you see online and you're like, is this not a bit too much? Exactly. And also coming from the point of, as, maybe say custodians of culture, do you not think, especially bringing it back to our roots as Africans, as Igbo people, do you not think that there are certain things that we should leave? Let's not interfere with these tools. And honestly, what's your take on that?
Honestly, I would say bringing in culture and we being Africans, I think the focus should still be on, giving that whole originality of the African food, but then you could still do something with it in a way that it will change a little bit without altering the original. Let's say, for example, let me give an example. Let's say, for example, palm oil. Okay, there's so many things you can do with palm oil, and if you make an original dish with palm oil, okay, everybody who is African, Igbos, like, you can bring somebody from Nsukka and he knows that this dish was made with palm oil. But there's a way you can tweak palm oil and, it becomes classier. Are you saying it's still palm oil? You still respect the ingredient, but then you don't take away the originality.
I think what you're trying to say is it's now more European. Because, we often tend to think that when something is, has DNA of Europe, it's classier.
It's not only about being it's not only about European or being, it's just exploring these things to show that it can be used in different ways, or it still has these other capabilities or abilities. It cannot be, constrained to just one form. That's what we used to know. Like, taking it out from what you used to know, but still respecting the ingredient and then making it still original. I think that's where they should draw the boundary. Like, people should know how to balance that. You don't go out
as respect
of
culture.
Yes, exactly. As respect the culture. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Didi.
You're
We'll be
welcome.
going on a short break, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation. Stay tuned.
Onye Afia, proudly brought to you by Qtix PLC, exclusive quality since 1982.
Welcome back. You are still tuned in to Onye Afia here on Afia TV. And I'm still here with Chef Didi. Chef Didi, Kekwan.
Odima. Achalugo.
Odogu, please. Okay. Now, still on our conversation, you were saying all your classier and palm wine things. I know your plan. Your plan is to try and tweak up and make up a taste different. But you lie. You're telling a big fat lie.
Oh, that's the thing, yeah. Opa has the powers to change, to transform into.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Take Opa, but take it to international levels, make it intercontinental, So yes, that's the kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. But then let's still, while doing this, still let the focus still be on the original taste of okpa. Don't change the basic ingredients of making okpa. So people who eat it will still know that this is okpa ball, a high.
It's just a tweak.
Exactly.
A tweak. Okpa has gone to school.
Exactly.
Okay, now still on the food business, right? You'd realize that there are a lot of food entrepreneurs, people in the business, a lot of chefs springing up on Instagram, Facebook. Everybody's a chef these days. Sometimes I wonder, do we even have to go to culinary school anymore? I mean, barrier to entry is low thanks to social media.
Exactly.
But yeah, what would you say are the, metrics for determining success in this business, right? And beyond the metrics, let's take it back. Entering the business, what are the things you need to take note of? And then what are the metrics to indicate success?
Okay. First things first, Odera, it's food we're talking. Okay. Before you dive into food business, call yourself a chef, anything, you should at least have a very sound knowledge about food and cooking. You should know how to cook. That's the first thing. You don't have any business doing food business when you don't know how to cook. Okay. And that's different from people who want to invest, because you also have people who invest So I think knowing how to cook, and then experience. Experience goes beyond even culinary school, because I mean the things that will teach you in culinary school most times is the basics. And then for someone who's maybe trying to start a business or establish, authority, you might not really have the patience to go all the way, because if you say school, school, more experience is I'll say the best thing ever. Try so many places, cook in restaurants, different types of restaurants, try out food, experiment on your own, before you can even say, I'm building a business off of this. All right. And another thing is focus, and then creating a niche. I would always say, find yourself, like you said, everywhere is saturated. Like, everybody is a chef. If you open Instagram, you see 101 fried rice recipes. But all of those things are distractions. The noise is too much and you're going to get confused.
Yeah, you forgot the blender people, but go on. I'm traumatized.
Stop it.
No, but I'm traumatized, but go on.
Okay, so find a niche for yourself, and then stand on it. Try to build authenticity, cook around the things that you would like to eat, or let your cooking show who you are. That way you can attract, your kind of people, and you see that there are definitely people who have been looking for the kind of things that, you also love to do.
Yeah.
So.
Now for you, your space in the food scene is very distinct. right? You have a way of working out recipes that you can't just go to another restaurant and order. Matter of fact, I think I would say that most of your recipes are original to you, the original ideas. When you started cooking, when you started this business in this region, were you scared that, oh, nah, this thing I'm doing, I got like a queer, what was that experience like for you? Were you scared? And when you finally started it, what was it like?
Oh, thank you for that. I remember, when I was planning to start the business and I shared the idea with my husband, and him knowing my style of cooking, he was like, baby, yeah, I'm a walk in Enugu. His exact words, So I'm like, okay, how about we just start with, because I know that I did my internship in UNTH, okay, and I had issues with finding what to eat in Itukwozala. And because of that, I had to move to town to find where to eat. Still, when I came, I didn't know where to get what I wanted to eat. So I called the cab guy and I asked him, please take me to the best place I can eat in Enugu. And he was like, there are two places, okay? One Pon Deck and the other one, anybody can go there, but their food is good. I'm like, okay, where do we start from? Let's go for Ndijego first, and then we go to the other one. So he took me to Dolphin, I can never forget, and that's for the Ndijego. And then he took me to Ntachi. All right. So I got food from them and I compared the two, and it wasn't really like, Ndijego, but I understood what he meant. Yes, exactly. When I got the food, and I was like, okay, so this is the best, but I still didn't get what I wanted to eat, coming from Lagos, and I've had to live in the US, and, there are things I was actually looking for.
Your palettes were.
Exactly. Exactly. So I thought about it and I told my husband, CCC, I'm going to start this and all of that. And he was, he tried to discourage me because he was also skeptical about it. And, people just accepting what they don't know in Enugu. So we called a few people and then we made food for them and said, how would you, see it if you were to buy food or order food and then they serve you this? What would you pay? Would you like to pay? Would you like to eat something like this? Or would you want your regular jollof rice? Let's say you were to order jollof rice and then they bring something like this to you, so the feedback was also poor. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just start. Let me just start with what they are used to. Okay. But then make it original, make it more high class. Kind of. It's not about class. I don't know. I don't know what to use now. Okay, make it authentic. So we started, and I was still being pushed into doing intercontinental dishes, and so I imagined, I thought about maybe bringing somebody from Nsukka to, my restaurant, and then I'm giving you Alfredo pasta. I mean, Emeka from Nsukka has no business with Alfredo pasta. He doesn't know what he's eating. But, however, what if I make Alfredo with, some things that Emeka is used to, maybe add a little of Oziza to my Alfredo so that he can be able to balance, the taste in his taste buds. So he knows that he's having something off, but there's something bringing him back home. Yes. Exactly. So that was how I came up with the idea of having Afrovision meals for Enugu, because this is eastern part of Nigeria. So what the idea was to do the original dishes that we have in that people are used to here, but then blend it with intercontinental dishes or flavors. So that's about that, and that kind of made us to stand out. That made Hunger Clinic to stand out. We also found out that people were looking for these things. They were looking for a change of taste buds and flavors. People were also willing to experiment, and we were just introducing it little by little, one after the other, and boom, that's how we're here now.
And the journey so far, would you say, how progressive has it been?
I mean, in fact, right now, we've been on a break and we're just coming back. So one of the things I'm trying to introduce for the New Hunger Clinic now is small plates. And the small plates are going to be like very original dishes, westernized pattern or type with like both in techniques and presentation of original African food, original Nigerian food. And then I'm trying to focus on nearly down to street food. So I would say it's been good and it's inspiring me to do more. Yeah.
Now, general overview, the industry, the way forward, especially for this part, because we're very fixated because I chose Makodim Mandibo, right? I chose Kwanaka, this region, the very, more competitive edge, sort of. So now, how do we move forward, right? As food entrepreneurs in Southeastern Nigeria, how do we move forward from your perspective? What needs to be done? What can be done better from the packaging? Do we need more trainings? Do we need more people to truly understand, what was that thing you said earlier? Molecular
gastronomy.
Exactly. I need to kind of matter what steps do we need to take from here on out?
All right. So I feel like, there should be more focus. In fact, the culinary industry in the Southeast or Enugu in general is still lagging behind. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done. I feel people should focus more on things that people can get outside of Enugu. Everybody seems to be doing the same thing, copying. I feel people should be more original to themselves. Try, don't be scared to try something that, think and then try it out and see how it goes. More trainings, more people should be trained on how to cook other maybe intercontinental dishes, continental dishes, other than the regular
typical
things that they're used to. And then again, I would say, like I said before, food evolves, cooking evolves, techniques. People should learn more about the techniques, what's happening. You should be in the know of what's happening, and then try to bring it into Enugu. I feel because people are willing to try new things here. People are open to experiment. You take them on the journey and they are fully ready to. Yeah, exactly. So let's just not be scared and do other stuff when it comes to
be more open-minded.
Exactly, that's the word.
And I think it's a vice versa situation. Actually. So in essence, it's not that people do not have the ability to patronize these things. It's not that people are not open-minded. It's just that the service has not been sold well enough to them.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Didi. This has been an interesting conversation. I really, really enjoyed our session. And to you, our lovely viewer, thank you so much for sticking it out with us. It has been an interesting journey, and I'm sure you can attest to it. And I'm sure you've also learned, too, about the industry, right? Until next time when I come your way again, keep watching Afia TV. I am Odera Collins, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Onye Afia, proudly brought to you by Qtix PLC, exclusive quality since 1982.